Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, you've caught me mid buffing out my face. I am buffing out my concealer at the moment. This is because I'm trying out a new technique that I found out while watching one of my favorite drag queens. One of my favorite drag queens, I can't talk, is Alaska from RuPaul's Drag Race. And I was watching videos the other day and I saw how some of their techniques that they do for makeup, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try one out. So what I'm doing is I am finishing up buffing out my concealer that I just did, and that's why you see that I've already got my foundation and stuff done, so that I could go to this process. But yeah, so I am just about finished buffing out my concealer, and as you know, the next part afterwards is to put powder on the concealer. So that's what we're going to do. And we are going to bake the face. So, let's get to it, you guys. I'm going to be using my Maybelline Master Fix Face Studio Setting and Perfecting Loose Powder. So far, this has been my loose powder for quite a while now, and I know that I am running low. So I ordered some new powder to try, but at this moment in time, this is what we've got. So I'm going to go in everywhere that I have concealed. So I'm not going to really bake all of my areas. I'm just going to powder them really well. Where I put concealer, I'm going to be baking mainly under the eyes for this because this is part of the technique that they use. And sometimes I like to go around and I like to add powder in certain areas too, extra powder, because what with my greasy skin type, it's actually very, very beneficial. And I want to know what you guys think. If you guys want to see my full out foundation routine, leave a comment below and I will show you just my full out foundation routine so that you can see what I do for my skin type, my greasy, oily skin type, and to see if these techniques help you at all with what you're trying to do. So I get really oily also, other than my T-zone. I also get really oily on my chin, whereas I've stated before, a majority of my acne is. So I just like a little extra powder. Powder is your friend. Okay, so we're going to bake underneath the eyes, and then once I bake underneath the eyes, we're going to leave it. I'm not going to sit here and buff it out like I normally do. We're just going to leave it the way it is while I do my eye makeup. Okay, let that bake. And like I said previously, this is part of the technique that I learned from Alaska, and that would be that they bake underneath their eyes so that while they're doing their face makeup, if any pigment falls down, when you're all done, you can literally just wipe the excess all away. And I like that idea. So I'm just going to make sure I press the powder in every single one of my crevices underneath my eye. Okay, looks good to me. So now while that sits and while we bake, we're going to go into a new eye look for today. Well, it's new for you guys, but it's not new for me. I did it actually a few weeks ago, as I wipe my hands off from powder. I did it a few weeks ago, and I actually fell in love with it, so I thought I would recreate it for you guys here on YouTube. So, if you haven't seen from my previous videos, I am, for the most part, I haven't, there's certain products I haven't tried yet and gone over, but the products that I have tried, I love them, and that would be, I am a fan of Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And this is the Beauty Killer palette that I'm going to be using today because it came out with the stunning look that I had. Look at all these beautiful shades. So the shades that we're going to be using today are China White. This one is Courtney. This color right here. We're going to be using Rich Bitch, and probably a little bit of one of the blacks, whether it's Vanity or Black Rainbow. But yeah, very pretty. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to be going into China White as my first color because it's a very, very good starting color. And I'm just taking China White, and I'm going to be putting that all over my eyelid to get a base so that all the other colors blend nicely. You always want a base shade for no matter what eye look you're doing, if that made sense. Okay, now that we have China White set up all over our lid, now we're going to be start dramatizing and getting that look that we want. So I'm going to be going into that shade that I said before. Whoa. This one called Courtney. I'm going to be taking this beautiful shade that I have fallen in love with, and I am going to start putting it into my crease. So, if you've watched any of my previous videos, when it comes to blending out any eyeshadow, you only want to use one brush to get the actual eyeshadow from the pan onto your eye pigment where you want it in the main vicinity. And then you want to grab a different brush, a fluffier round, I grabbed the wrong one, sorry guys, wasn't looking when I grabbed it. You're going to take a rounded fluffy brush, and this is going to be your blending brush where you don't go into the pan at all. This is just to blend the color that you already have. So then you're going to take that color that you have on your lid and you are going to drag it and blend it. This is in order to ensure that when you're blending, you're actually blending around the shadow that you already had and not just making a mess of colors with that brush having so much on it. Now I'm taking this color into the crease a lot higher, as you can see, because I like to do the lighter colors or the transition shade a lot higher on the crease, and then any dark colors that you're trying to buff in to get a deeper set look, lower and deeper into the crease. I'm just tapping in more of that shade from my other brush, and now I'm going back in with my buffing brush. I really do love this shade. It looks totally different on your eyes than it does in the pan. In the pan, to me, it looks a lot more like brown, like nude, very light, maybe tan in color. Then you put it on your eyes and it's got this beautiful, like, orange hue to it. Brownish orange hue. Just trying to deepen the color just a little bit more so that we can get a little bit more drama, and also so that when I add the darker shade, it's going to pop. Now let's start doing the same technique on the other side. Going back in with Courtney and just digging some of that pigment. Just trying to get the colors and such even as much as possible. Starting to look pretty equal to me. I think I want to darken this just a little bit before we get into a dark shade. So I think I'm going to go into this beautiful burgundy kind of cranberry color, which is called Confession. And we're just going to drama the crease a little bit. Get it a little bit darkened. Also to give it a little bit more depth. As I stated previously, since it's a darker shade, I'm putting it lower in the crease than I did the first shade, to give it that depth. You can see the difference between the two. Now going in on the other side. just about equal. Starting to look pretty. Trying to get some decent lighting to see better. Sorry guys, just trying to make sure it's blended out, and for some reason the lighting is just so off. I'm learning the lighting and all this stuff. So I think just a little bit of drama. We're going to add a little bit of black into the outer corner. So we're going to be using Black Rainbow, which is the shinier black of the two options. Don't want to add too much at once because you want to make sure that you're getting the actual area and such where you want it, and not just a whole bunch of black to sit there. And then of course you want to blend that out.
Lenny, I'm home.
Scared me, honey.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
You doing a video?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cute. Facebook?
No. Sorry guys, my boyfriend just walked in. I'm just about finished. Now I think we're going to do the center shade, and that's about it. So I want the center shade to really pop because we're using the gold. So we're using this one right here. And see, this is why we have the powder for all that fallout that I'm seeing. So I'm going to take my tiny little brush that hasn't been used by any other pigment, and in order to get a really good pigment, we're going to be going in with my Max Fix Plus, and you're just going to spray a little bit on your brush to get it wet to pick up pigment. Go into that color. And then we're just going to press it in every area that we did not put eyeshadow from prior. Now, we don't want to just slab color on there and leave it the way it was. You definitely want to go back in with your main transition shade, like Courtney that I used from the beginning, and you want to blend all over again and blend all of your colors together so that you can get a cohesiveness. To your look. And that is it. We are just going to take a brush and we are going to lightly dust off any of that excess powder that we had from the baking process and also from the eyeshadow fallout. And there you have it. Today this was really about that powder technique and everything like that. But if you guys are interested to see more and see more eye looks that I go in depth with and close on with, then just let me know in the comments below. Please like, please subscribe, and remember, you are beautiful. Bye guys.